the applause from our audience. Clapping us in.
I was gonna say. Yeah.
He just does that, and then he puts like multiple like tracks of the same clap over, so it's
really?
some
Yeah,
applause.
So it's like a
People
live
think we have
studio
a-
audience.
Yeah. People think we have a live studio audience, so please don't mess up the image.
We're like Seinfeld.
Yeah. Big fan.
We should put random just like laugh tracks throughout the episode.
Just whenever we say something stupid.
Yeah.
And then have bass lines in between things that we say.
Just
Oh,
randomly
yeah.
too, like something sad could happen in the comic book, and then just like a laugh track goes off.
Or like the,
Yeah. Just all the Drake and Josh ones.
We'll have like Jack walk in and it'll be like a celebrity just walked in and everyone's like, ah!
Yeah.
You just got to sit there.
God.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Trade Waiters podcast, the comic book club where we read a different trade paperback every single week. I'm Daniel. You're Nathan. This is Jack.
Hello.
We're brothers. Jack's my friend, and we read comics, don't we?
We sure do. All the time. Every single one of us in this room.
Yeah, Jack. What's it like being on your favorite podcast?
It's a dream come true, and I'd like to thank all of my friends and family for allowing me to do this finally.
You don't have to like lean forward like you're giving a speech every time you talk.
Okay.
It's an interview.
Yeah.
I'm new to this.
You've just seen all the sports interviews where they like lean forward.
Yeah,
and, like,
I've been watching all the highlights lately. So.
Right.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of time codes for the book, Back Matter Matters, the Polis. But Jack, what do we start with?
Some news. That's correct.
Yeah, news. I was going to say that.
Jack, you got any comic book news?
I read my first comic book.
That's news.
That's big news.
That's your first comic book.
It's my first, yeah. I never read anything, so that's why I'm here. And
Never read anything.
I've read things, but not comic books, yeah.
Oh, the ones without pictures?
Like regular books?
Yeah, regular
I've
books.
read regular books, yeah.
Wow.
I've read articles on...
Cringe.
Sounds like a shitty comic.
I've read books, I've read articles, I've read Reddit threads.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that all
That's the worst
counts.
one.
Yeah.
So he's plenty of knowledge.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Nathan, what do you got?
Dude, not a whole lot happened really, I feel like.
Yeah, no, it was like mostly nothing.
There's like some new series is coming out. There's a new Storm solo series that explores the X-Men's punk era, I guess.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. And Nocenti is going to be a part of it, who's like the big like Daredevil writer who did it like a really long time ago. So I didn't know she was still doing stuff. And I don't know the artist, but it's Sid Kodian.
Okay.
So saw that. Thought that was interesting. Spider-Man 2099 is coming back too.
Like a comic?
Yeah. Steve Orlando is going to write it.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, you're a big fan of him, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm sure he can do things well.
He'll do fine.
He's written a comic that we liked on here.
Yeah, that's true.
Has there been multiple 2099 runs?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Because I remember when they did all the 2099 stuff with like everybody.
Yeah.
But hey, then we got a Gotham Knights trailer for the TV show. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I tried to avoid it, to be honest.
Nope. We got people that I didn't know that was going to be in it. There's like the Joker's daughter. There's
Interesting.
Robin, a girl Robin. I don't know which one.
Okay.
And Batman's dead, and his costume just looks like some dude dressing up as Batman, like a Halloween costume.
It looked like a Party City costume.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did see screenshots of that. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but it seems like nobody like wants this show. Like they announced it and people were like, why? And then it just like is still coming out for some reason. So
I'll still give it a shot just to see how bad it is.
I'm not. You know, it is one of those shows that seems like it'd be kind of a fun to watch, just like make fun of it kind of deal.
Oh yeah,
but
that's why I watch it.
yeah, okay.
We got a new trailer for The Mandalorian season 3.
I did not watch that.
I watched that, and there are people with lightsabers in it. So
Sweet.
I'm assuming like a flashback to like Order 66 or something like that, because there's greens in there and there are Jedi. I'm like, no shot, there's just Jedi. But who knows? Yeah.
Did you watch any Mandalorian?
No, I always said I would, but I haven't got around to it yet. But I liked that Bill Burr was in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I really
Those
want,
are like some of the best episodes.
It's
Yeah.
really, his character's really good, and he doesn't give a shit about Star Wars. So it's just like,
yeah, it's funny.
for some reason, the people that don't give a shit about Star Wars are like the best characters
yeah,
in Star
it's
Wars.
probably because like the pressure's off because like
Yeah.
they don't have like the childhood like mystique of it being
Exactly.
like, on their mind. But I remember watching an interview with him a long time ago saying he was just trashing it.
Yeah.
And like it's kind of funny to see him in a character now. So
Yeah, I remember.
I wanna
seeing those
watch
clips, too.
It's
Yeah,
probably
sure.
the most serious thing I've ever seen him do.
Yeah.
And so it was just cool that he wasn't just like phoning it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was taking it seriously too. Like I really liked his character. I forget what his name was in the show, but
Oh, it's so hard to remember.
he was still Bill Burr. I was looking at him.
Still
He's
had a
Bill Burr.
Boston accent in
Yeah.
space.
Well, he was in Breaking Bad, wasn't he? He
Yeah.
was, he was
Yeah.
with Huel, right? I
Yeah.
always forget that. I should rewatch that show.
It's awesome on a rewatch.
Yeah, I bet it would be, especially after Saul.
Right.
What is
show.
The Mandalorian on, like streaming service wise?
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. Okay, I'll have to check that out.
It was like their first Disney Plus show. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
Ish, one of them.
That was like why people bought like the
Oh, wow.
streaming service basically.
Yeah, when it first came out.
Came out swinging.
What else you got, Daniel?
That's all of it.
Supposedly, 50% of Comixology staff got laid off,
I saw that.
which
yeah.
is crazy.
Could even be more.
Could be more. Yeah, possibly 75%. This is all speculation, just from a guy that got fired there, and he was the person that would curate the lists.
Yeah.
You know, on like the featured page, you'd be like, oh, here's people who like, you know, this particular thing, or like Venom's coming out. Here's all the Venom you could possibly want to read.
He does like a lot of the sales and stuff too.
Yeah.
Which was probably the best part.
I hope there's still sales, but
There's no sales.
no sales
Everything's
anymore.
Full price.
Yeah, so that sucks.
It's like, how are they functioning, you know?
I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know how minimal they can have people just working on this shit, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it'd be so annoying if it just like
Got
crashed and like burned or whatever, and then we just have to find some other way to do this, you know, read digitally.
Yeah,
There needs to be a competitor.
they're really. I think. I mean, there's like some things, but yeah, nothing that is like granular as like Comixology, where like publishers can just have one place to go for people to just purchase like single issues digitally online.
Yeah.
Because Marvel and DC have their own, but it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a subscription thing, but you got to wait like 30 or 60 days for like the new stuff to come out. And that's all I know,
Right.
but I don't know what like independent comics would do, or like
Yeah.
mangas, because there's that on there as well. So
I think that digital sales isn't as much as like the physical stuff, but it's still nice in case like you can't get it, or it's
Yeah,
out of
you
print
missed
or
something.
something, or
Yeah.
it's super fucking old.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that was shitty to hear.
Yeah.
So what was the book we read this week, Jack?
We read Old Man Logan this week.
That's
Sure
right.
did.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is this our first Wolverine comic?
I think it is. Yeah. We haven't done any Wolverine, have we?
Like Wolverine's been in stuff, but nothing like solely Wolverine, you know?
Yeah. I think we were thinking about doing like Enemy of the State,
Yeah.
and then we were like, that's way too long.
Yeah, I know.
And then we were like, we'll just never do Wolverine.
Yeah, fuck it.
But yeah, this is Wolverine : Old Man Logan, by Mark Millar. Mark Miller. I keep doing
It's
that.
just Miller.
Mark Miller and Steve McNiven. Apparently, this was like part of just the Wolverine run going on at the time. It was like some random issues. It was like 68 through like 75 or something.
Yeah.
So just like if you were reading Wolverine at the time, like 68 happens. It's like, okay, we're in the future. You know,
I'd be like, this is great.
this is one of the top 2 best-selling Marvel graphic novels of all time. And the other one is written by the same guy. It was like the Ultimates run.
Oh,
so
really?
I thought it was Civil War.
I think it was the Ultimates, but it could be Civil War though.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably up there as well, if we're being
Right.
honest. But yeah, pretty cool. I mean, I'd read this before, but it's definitely a big old delight rereading it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There's little things I forgot that kind of mean more now.
Yeah. This was like one of the first like graphic novels you probably picked up, right?
Yeah, it was like probably pretty early on I read it.
Yeah. What did you
Okay.
think, Jack?
Yeah, this is one of your favorite guys, right?
Yeah, I love Wolverine like in the movies, and then I loved the movie Logan. Like that movie consistently makes me cry when I watch it.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I like the character in that movie that he like became, I guess, after like the X-Men stuff happened, and then like just what's left of him.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that movie a lot, and so I was really excited actually to read this, even though I never read anything like it before. So it's kind of cool seeing like the differences between all I have is the movies to reference, you know what I mean? So like it was a little bit different for me to read it, but as like compared to you guys probably, but I liked it. It was cool. Yeah.
I think they took all the like good elements from Old Man Logan and put that into like the movie, but obviously they couldn't do a lot of the bigger like universe stuff.
Yeah.
They can't have like a Venom dinosaur in that movie.
Yeah.
That would have been cool, you know.
That would have blew my fucking mind.
maybe in Logan 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they took like the parts where he's just like, I'm angry and I'm old and angry. I'm gonna go farm or whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie actually since it came out in theaters, I don't think.
I've rewatched it like once or twice.
Yeah. I should.
It was good.
They have a black and white version too that you can watch.
Oh yeah.
I would watch that.
Which is pretty sick.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So yeah, pretty solid book, I would say. So should we get into it?
Jack, how do you feel about comics as like a medium?
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't really know how I feel about it. Like, I get like the appeal of it. I guess I just never got into it, even when I was younger for some reason.
Sure.
But I think it's a cool way. Yeah. I think it's a cool way to like get into like the characters you like story, besides the movies or whatever. So it was cool. I did like it because there's a couple things that were funny about the book that like because I'm so new to it all. Like I just didn't like know what to expect really. So it was fun actually though. Like it was enjoyable. So
yeah, this was pretty shocking on like my first read. You know, I'm just like, on some of the parts, and I'm like, why is this happening?
Marvel does not like get this bloody either.
No,
so
this is definitely like an exception.
Yeah, so which is pretty cool. I'm glad that they had the freedom to go as violent as they did, and I assume this being like a first book for you, there's like a lot where you're just like, I don't even know what's happening at this point.
Yeah, I was definitely.
But I don't think it takes away from the story at all, which is good because sometimes I think what scares people away from comics is they see a bunch of things that they don't understand, and they're like, well, no, I don't understand this book. Yeah. But what's I think a strength of this is that you can see things and you're supposed to wonder like what the story there is, kind of.
Yeah.
Like it might help to know who like Loki is in like some instances, but it like doesn't really. You're like, that's a big dead guy, you know? So
yeah. I found myself wondering in the book a lot if like there were like certain personalities of these characters that are in the comic book specifically, because like the Hulk stuff, like I was like, what? Like I thought the Hulk was like this doctor guy or whatever. Like it was just kind of, it was interesting to me to like see that stuff play out.
So after this like came out, it was kind of established that it was like a separate universe, right? Than what like the normal Marvel comics are. So in this universe, like the Hulk is a little off, a little southern,
little southern,
little hillbilly kind of guy.
They all kind of had a little southern thing going. They kept saying "bub" and like nothing or something, and
Pappy
like
Banner. That was my favorite part.
Yeah,
Pappy Banner. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's get into it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we talked about it a little bit. It's a world where bad guys are in control, and all the heroes have fallen. Pretty much, like the villains are like. There's like a 10-to-1 ratio for each hero to villain. So like if we all just, put our differences aside, we can take down everybody. So that's kind of the world that we're in. And Wolverine now goes by Logan. He's got a family and a farm in like the Hulk territory. And they struggle to make rent to pay the Hulk gang. And I love some of the like silent pages that we see of just him like riding a horse or whatever. Yeah. I just think that the Western aspect that they brought into this, I think works super well with Logan.
I like that.
Because he's never been like a guy to drive a car necessarily, or I guess he has had a motorcycle at some points, but he still feels like kind of old school. So I think that part works really well.
I liked that. That was one of the things I liked about it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is like super cool.
Yeah. Like this is my horse.
Yeah.
And then he also denies ever like being a hero in the first place, which I think is cool because we obviously know him as a superhero. So we're like, oh, why is he denying that he ever was an X-Men or whatever?
But like literally everyone knows that he's like Wolverine.
Yeah, exactly.
This is like something like 50 years in the future from what we know Wolverine as.
So his family or his kids obviously don't know who he is, but yeah, everybody that was alive at that time knows like Wolverine. And the Hulk gang shows up, beats the shit out of Logan for not having rent, and then they threaten to kill Logan's family if he doesn't have rent next month. And so we see the Hulk gang driving the Fantastic Car, which is like the floating Fantastic Four vehicle. That's what that is.
I didn't notice that at first.
Yeah.
I thought it was like 4 separate little hover cars or something like that.
Yeah, no, that's the Fantastic Car, and then they like graffitied over it. And
Nice.
They made like some jokes where there's like the 4 there, and then they write dead and then forgotten.
Yeah.
And I'm like, pretty good. And there's a really cool scene where like Logan like imagines like killing one of them, and then we find out that it's like in his head like right after, and I was like, oh, he's still got the dog in him, you know. He's like a pacifist, but he definitely doesn't like these people. And obviously it's pretty interesting that the Hulk people are hillbillies.
Yeah.
Because it's a bit of a juxtaposition from the scientists that we know, Bruce Banner. So you're just like, what the hell happened here? You know, what a weird apocalypse world. And so after that happens, Hawkeye, who's blind, visits the Logan family and offers Logan a delivery job across the country that he needs just help navigating in his car. And the pay would set up his family for a long time to pay the Hulk gang. So Logan accepts, and then they leave on the spider buggy across America.
Hawkeye's still driving.
He is still driving,
which is like something I kept thinking about.
Which is funny.
He's like, just nudge me if I'm going too far left.
Yeah,
or
he's like, just a hair to the left, and then we'll be on the right.
He just
path.
needs him to navigate across like America.
Yeah, which is interesting. I don't remember ever seeing like a spider buggy, and so I think it's funny that this is like the car that Mark Millar just yoinked and was like, this will be, you know.
I think it's probably one of the more well known like random hero vehicles.
I know, like the spider cycle. Like I remember the cartoon.
I remember like a spider buggy like toy. You know?
Really?
And then also like Deadpool has like the dead buggy or something like that, and it was just kind of a play off of the spider buggy.
I love when heroes don't need cars, but they have one anyway.
Yeah,
so sick. And
they have their same powers.
I love a blind Hawkeye. I think that's a pretty good addition to his character. Obviously, he needs his eyes for a lot of what he does. It's interesting that Logan doesn't like immediately heal as well.
Yeah, he's a bit slower in his old age. Yeah, but he still does come back after
maybe his metabolism went down a bit, but yeah, he's. I mean, it creates more stakes. I feel like for when he gets like his shit pushed in, like he has to like take a while to like recover actually. So
yeah,
I mean, whereas in like normal Wolverine comics, he would just get shot and then it'll just like he'd pop the bullet out of like healing. So I think that adds an interesting perspective. And there's a cool little map. I love a good map of like all of the country, and you're like, okay, so this part used to be like Magneto's, but now he's dead, I guess, and now it's the Kingpin. So yeah, very very solid start to a book, honestly. So we'll get into issue 2, but they go to San Francisco, and it's like half underground, and it's infested with moloids, which is like an underground race. And then they get ambushed by a bunch of Ghost Riders, and Hawkeye has to take them down solo since Logan refuses to fight.
It was cool to see like the Ghost Riders and how there's just like multiple now, you know?
Yeah, I don't know like what happened. I guess
there. Mephisto's still around, just like granting all these people.
He's like, I could do multiple of these.
Yeah.
Was it Mephisto in the movie? Or did he just like, how did he become the Spirit of Vengeance or whatever?
Oh, in like the Ghost Rider movie?
Yeah, with Nick Cage.
Yeah, it was that one guy.
Just a devil.
It was
there was like a devil guy that was like walking around, huh?
Yeah, he had the eyes and stuff.
I haven't seen that movie in so long.
I don't think they called him Mephisto or something, but
yeah. I like that Hawkeye thought that him being a pacifist was just like a bit. You know?
Yeah.
He's like, all right, you can cut the shit now.
I thought you were joking.
He's like, you're serious?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, man, I've been telling you.
He's like, come on, the old ball and chain's not around. You can open up with your boy. And he's like, no, I'm for real about this.
Yeah.
And it's cool seeing like Hawkeye still kick some ass as well. Like he's blind, but he just kind of uses like a daredevil type thing to just shoot his arrow.
I thought that was sick. He's like, you guys are making too much noise. He just fucking everyone up.
Yeah, super cool. So they just like road trip around. After that, they make it to Hammer Falls, Nevada, which is owned by the Kingpin, and it's filled with like people that are praying for like a hero return, and they like pray to Mjolnir, which is like fallen. Like that was like the last place of like Mjolnir, which I think is pretty cool. I like that they take a lot of time to just do some world building just throughout. Like A lot of it's just like road tripping. It's like we're in Nevada now, and there's a dead guy over here. Or like these people just like Thor, and they want him to come back. Here's Mjolnir. I think that like adds a lot of cool like apocalyptic feel to the world.
I thought it was cool, like how every stop there's like some kind of like hero, like fall. There's like some kind of history there.
Yeah, it feels
That's
like
what
a
might
road
have
trip.
happened. Yeah, it was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's all scattered around.
Yeah.
I like the explanation that the heroes are dead, but they didn't view like Hawkeye as enough of a hero to like kill, and so they just like left him alive, and that's the explanation why he's alive. He was just a guy, so they're like,
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't pick up on that. That's interesting. What an insult.
I know. He's like,
Just a guy with a bow.
He just like he wanted to die. It seemed like they should have killed me. Like I would have gone down
Chip
too.
on his shoulder for sure.
Yeah.
Nathan, real quick.
I don't even know if that picked up, but famous segment.
Don't worry, I cut it in.
Okay.
So there's a section of Wolverine, and he's just getting attacked by a bunch of villains. And who the fuck are these people, Nathan?
Okay. We have Mr. Sinister.
Yep,
That's the layup.
it's the white dude.
Okay. There's Sabretooth, maybe?
Probably closest guess.
Probably Sabretooth. Red Omega is one of them.
Oh, actually, I didn't think you know that.
I do know that one. I think one of them Silver Samurai, and I don't know who the other dude's whose face we see in there is. There's some people later on where I'm like, I hope Daniel doesn't ask me about these.
I definitely am gonna.
God damn
So
it.
you should
I
do your
tried
research.
looking up one of them, and I'm like, Marvel villain that wears red and purple. And they're like, Thanos. And I'm like, no.
Oh, isn't that Psycho Pirate?
Is it Claw?
I don't know. We'll get to it.
I don't think it's Psycho Pirate. That's DC.
Oh, never mind.
So probably not him. But yeah, they definitely like brought in some like weird villains, which makes sense because they're all trying to like band together and do this. So
Yeah.
But then there's like an Ultron bot that takes him to Tanya, which is Hawkeye's ex-wife, who explains that Ashley got captured while doing some hero stuff, and Ashley is Hawkeye and Tanya's daughter, which is Spider-Man's granddaughter.
Yep.
So it's like a weird relationship, right?
Pretty weird.
Because Spider-Man's daughter is Tanya, and Hawkeye's older than like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And so that's weird. And then they had a baby.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's like who this like spider person is.
What the hell's going on in here?
I know. And I'm like, she's pretty fine though. So
And her name's Spider Bitch, canonically. I don't know
it's
if you,
not, is it?
I swear to God it is.
No, you're wrong.
Google Spider Bitch and look who comes up.
that
I'm going to
allowed?
right now.
Are they allowed to say that?
Yeah, it's allowed.
Oh.
Oh my God, you're right. She's got a Wikipedia.
Because she's official.
The spider bitch, Ashley Barton. That's crazy.
They don't say Spider Bitch, but they kind of break it up. But
That's bizarre.
yeah, because I remember reading the first time, like, that's hilarious. Are you serious? What kind of world is this?
There's like an Ultron bot, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Like, aren't you
That is
supposed to be
Ultron.
bad? That's like the Ultron? Oh, I mean, Hawkeye just refers to him as Ultron, but I don't know how.
He's like, it's Ultron 8, so I guess he's like the 8th Ultron? I don't know.
Oh, okay, he's a good one. Yeah, I just didn't ask too many questions.
Right.
I do like the Spider-Man like outfit design though, or the Spider Bitch design. Excuse me. I think that looks pretty good. I like the mask specifically. It's like if
It's like a wrestler mask.
it's like if Nightwing was like a spider person, you know.
Sure.
So pretty cool.
Spider-Man was in like the WWE, you know?
Oh yeah. So, chapter 3, Ashley's going to be executed by the Kingpin, and Hawkeye convinces Logan to like take a detour by offering to pay him double the amount so that he can help get Ashley back. So they road trip to Salt Lake City, and we see the Punisher and Daredevil get eaten by dinosaurs for a crowd,
Yeah.
which is bizarre.
I totally forgot they
yeah.
were in this.
Yeah, I forgot that too. I'm surprised they made it like this far as well. Like I wonder why they were still alive 50 years later.
I mean, it makes sense, but
I guess if they're like,
it's just more people that don't have powers, I guess, that just kind of
yeah, they just kind of
made
left
it along.
alive.
And I guess they were a part of this like rebellion thing that them and Spider Bitch were trying to make like a newer
Yeah.
Avengers.
I think that's why they got captured.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. That there's so many dinosaurs in this book.
I love it.
It's so crazy, and yeah, it's a very apocalyptic thing to be like, watch these people get eaten. You know,
Yeah.
sell tickets.
Oh, actually,
and they're loving it.
real quick, Jack, there's a stadium in this book. It's Rice Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City. I'll give you one shot to guess what team plays at the stadium?
Salt Lake City.
Yeah,
It's got to be that Utah college, right?
that's correct.
Yeah.
The Utah Utes play
the
here.
Utes.
Wow.
I looked it up. I'm like, is that a real place?
Yeah.
And it sure is.
Yeah.
Is there not like a baseball team at like Salt Lake City?
No.
Not a major one, maybe like a minor or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Or like
I
a
didn't know
club
that.
team.
And this is where I think like the 2002 Olympics were like held, like where they had like the opening ceremony.
That is so random.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, bit of history. Mark Millar, even though he's
Wow.
like Irish, he knows his stuff.
Yeah, he does. I wonder why they chose that stadium. I guess they had to like find a stadium along the path that they were on.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, they're in
Yeah,
Nevada. You know, it's got to be on the way.
Yeah.
Makes sense. This Kingpin somebody new? I don't think we ever really know who he is either. He's just like some dude.
We don't know his name, but he like killed the old Kingpin, and now he's just like the new Kingpin or whatever. Like
Yeah.
Kingpin's more of like a status, not necessarily like a person in this sense.
Yeah, exactly.
I really wanted it to be like Luke Cage or something because it was just a big black dude.
That'd be pretty
And I'm
cool.
like, that'd be kind of funny.
Quite a 180 from Luke Cage. But
Yeah, which happens.
Yeah. But no, this guy's just some dude, which is fine. And so Hawkeye and Logan find Ashley's location. They drive the spider buggy off the like side of a building into where Ashley is held. And then Hawkeye takes everyone down. And then Ashley decapitates the Kingpin and is about to like shoot Hawkeye. And then Logan has to like start to step in. And that's how that issue ends. But this is a really cool action sequence, like from Hawkeye's end, because it's like really fluid. You could see like where all the people are that he's taking out, like as it goes through like the fight sequence.
Yeah.
There's a guy in a black shirt who gets stabbed and then stabbed again or shot, and there's a lot of like permanence to what's going on with everybody involved in the fight scene, which I think McNiven does a really good job with.
I did not know that the spider buggy could just drive on walls.
Yeah, I mean, what else? What else would be the goddamn point if it's
that's
a spider
cool.
vehicle?
And then I love this scene where they crash into the building and like the debris just looks like so good.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like I don't know. I feel like debris would be the most annoying thing to draw. But
Yeah, so
he
many
does really well with
details. And the Kingpin gets decapitated with a shotgun, like
Yeah,
a
not even-
a blunt weapon.
Well, if she's got spider DNA,
I mean, she's definitely like strong, I would assume, but you know, the fact that it's not like a machete or whatever just shows like how much power she has. And so I was like, that's a little bizarre. And then she immediately turns on Hawkeye, and I'm like, the fuck is going on?
yeah,
So
just saved her ass.
yeah, pretty much.
Ridiculous.
So then issue 4 is Logan drives through the building, scoops up Hawkeye, and then he does like a Fast and Furious where he crashes out of one building, lands in another building, and then drives through that, and then crashes out of that building, and then they get away. And then there's an earthquake that just creates like a big crack in the earth that they fall into.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of really unfortunate things happening. Like, did they really need like a second building to crash into?
Yeah, because they're pretty high up.
Why couldn't they just like, I mean, it's a spider buggy, like,
Because I guess if you're going at that full speed to escape, you wouldn't just drop down. You know, you'd probably clear the
I know, but they
street.
can make it so that they're just like lower, like to the ground, so that they don't need to like a second building to crash through. Like, I was just curious, like, why would they choose to crash from one building to another building just to drive straight through it and then go straight down? You know, I was like,
It's how to get out of the city.
this is bizarre, just an insane situation. And also, like, I like how the goons are like, I guess we're listening to Ashley now because she's like, go get him.
I guess it's just like whoever kills the Kingpin becomes the Kingpin, and that's like what she wanted to do, I guess.
They seem very coordinated. Some of them are on dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And they're like, I guess we're going to go chase these guys right now. But like the Kingpin just died like 5 seconds ago.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, I guess we're listening to her. I don't know.
I guess that's how this goes because they don't want to die.
I guess she signs my paycheck now. I don't know. But it's such a crazy sequence. And that's like the last that we see of Ashley too in this story.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of just random things that come up in this book. I think they might get answered later because they had another Old Man Logan series that was just like an ongoing one, not like a limited like 8-issue thing like this. And it explores what he was doing like after this book.
Yeah.
I think she might have come back in that, but
Probably.
yeah. But so they fall into like a Malloid hole, and the Malloids like killed everybody that fell in that crack. And then Logan and Hawkeye like use glow sticks to blind them because they're so used to like the dark, and they use the spider buggy to just climb up the wall and escape. Do you remember that horror movie in the cave? And there's like
The Descent.
The Descent. That's what it is.
Super spooky.
I'm like, these are just.
I fucking hate that movie, but it's also like a top 3 horror movie for me.
It's really good, honestly, and it's kind of old now. I think.
Yeah, it was like 2005 or something.
Damn, it's only it's almost 20 years old.
Yeah, I rewatched that like only a couple years ago, and just like the claustrophobia of it is unreal.
Yeah,
because they like. The shit moves and stuff, and they're trying to get out of it. It's awful.
People make so much noise just moving around.
People panic. It's a nightmare.
There's one.
Yeah, when you panic, that's when you get fucked.
There's one scene where like somebody's alarm goes off on like their phone or like their smartwatch or something, and I'm like, you're such a fucking dumbass.
They didn't have smartwatches back then, Nathan. It was just a normal.
Okay, it was just a phone then.
It was like a pager, probably.
I think that's behind that. So somewhere in the middle.
It's probably like a VCR or something.
Probably like an iPod Touch.
Yeah.
Some of that old technology, but yeah, that's what these like Malloys remind me of. And whenever I think of that movie, I just think of that one scene. It's the only thing I remember because I was just like, they're so fucked now.
I remember in that movie there was it was like an hour before you saw anything happen. It was just like all build up, and then like I remember
the best.
Remember the scene where they finally see the creatures? They like pan over, and it's like just sitting there, it's like right next to somebody. And I was like, what is that? Like that is nuts.
I think exploring a cave would be really cool, but I just
absolutely
can't now.
Not.
Yeah, no.
Especially when you have to squeeze into like holes that are as big as you.
Dude, Carter went and did that in like
fucking
Tucson.
Nuts. He could have died.
He could have. There's like legitimate like ways to die.
Yeah.
Like, he was telling me like there's a part where there's just like a 50-foot drop and there's no like guardrails or anything, and it's pitch black.
No.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, just like stay close to the wall because there's like a really big drop off right here, and they didn't have any like lights or anything.
Yeah, just don't fall.
That's literally what the direction was there.
There's not a chance in hell I'm doing that.
Yeah. No, that seems ridiculous. And so, yeah, just with the context of that movie, I was just like, this is a bad situation they're in, you know?
Yeah.
It is cool seeing they like turn on the headlights of like the car, and I'm like, okay, that would help a little bit.
Yeah.
Smart.
And then they just drive out. Just a quick like 2-page scene where they fall in a Malloy crack for some reason. And so they road trip some more a little bit. They see the sights, you know, like the Mount Rushmore with the Red Skull's head on it. I think that's such a ridiculous page.
Yeah,
but it's like one of my favorites.
They're driving right in front of it.
Like
there isn't just like a place to drive
like,
right there.
That's like on the top of a mountain. Like that, though it wouldn't be flat space. They like specifically detoured to go see.
There's like a spot to where you can just stand and look at it,
and they're just driving past it.
Yeah, I'm like, Mark Millar's obviously never been here.
He's like, I don't. He's
or
probably
Steve McNiven or whoever.
He was probably writing this book, and he's like, what are some American things that that could be changed? And they're like, Mount Rushmore, put Red Skull on there. But there's like some dinosaurs that they drive past. There's like a fallen Loki. I have no idea why he's so big.
I guess sometimes he's big. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Maybe it's like
he's like
because he does illusions and stuff. But maybe in this part he's actually big. I don't know.
He's like a frost giant, but he's never a giant. I don't know how that works. Yeah. And then they stop at a bar, and Logan's like finally about to tell Hawkeye about what made him vow to never pop his claws. I like the design pages where we see like Logan regretting his past, because it's like most of like the page when you see him like as Wolverine, he's all like bloodied up and stuff. And then the parts where he's like talking, his face is like heavily shaded, but like the tears you can still see and stuff. Like I think with tough man crying, I think that can be hard to pull off, but I think that Steve McNiven does a really good job of it.
Oh yeah.
So
Steve McNiven's definitely top tier.
He's like the Wolverine artist in my head, right?
Yeah, it's like when I think of Wolverine stuff, I think of it in Steve McNiven artwork.
Yeah, because he did like Death of Wolverine as well. And then when he came back, I forget what that was called. Yeah, but he did Death of Wolverine, I'm pretty sure, with Charles Soule.
Was it like the Life and Death of Wolverine or something like that? Or no,
just the Death of Wolverine.
Okay.
And then when he came back, that was also the same team that like brought him back.
Like Charles Soule too.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then there's like one other thing that he did, but yeah, he's the GOAT, honestly, for Wolverine stuff. Adam Kubert was doing him recently, and he's a pretty big name, and that stuff was really cool too. I was picking that up for a while.
Is there a Wolverine book right now?
Yeah, I think so. It started with Adam Kubert, but yeah. So anyway, chapter 5, we basically see what happened, and basically Wolverine got ambushed by a bunch of villains when the villains were all taking over.
All right, Nathan, who do we got here?
Okay, so let's look at the splash page. We got Doc Ock. That's Silver Samurai, I'm pretty sure.
Is it?
I think so. We have the Shocker. There's a big Hulk-looking dude. I have no idea who that is.
Solomon Grundy.
It's not. It's not him. And then this is the guy I was trying to like look up. It's like just this red and purple guy. But how do you Google that?
Nah, it's like orange and brown. What are you talking about?
I'm pretty sure now that I've said it, I'm pretty sure it's Claw. I'm gonna look it up right now just to be sure, because he's got like the mic. The what do you call the thing that you shout into?
A microphone.
No. At like rallies and stuff, there's someone megaphone.
Megaphone.
Yeah.
Like I think that's still a microphone.
Oh yeah, I was right. Let's go. Okay, so I just don't know who that big proper Hulk looking guy is, but I know everybody else. So he gets ambushed by a bunch of villains when they're all taking over, and so he just like slices them into sushi pretty much. Like he fucks them all up, and then discovered it was actually Mysterio that made him think that they were all villains, but they were actually all of the X-Men that he killed. So he killed all of his friends.
Yeah, and he was able to do it because they're all like hesitating because
they're friends
friend or whatever.
And Logan thinks they're villains, so he's like, I don't care about these guys, and he just chops them all up. But this page where we see like all the like X-Men just like laying there, and you're like, oh, this part where Wolverine cut off this villain's arm, that's actually Beast, apparently. You know? And you're like, what the fuck? So it's a pretty big reveal. And like when it reveals that it's like Jubilee that he's holding in his arms, that's such like a shocking moment.
Yeah.
And so pretty cool. And you'd be like, but it makes me think like this has never happened before, you know?
Right. Yeah.
I'm sure it has, but then they didn't think that he's got like a good nose or whatever. But
yeah, because he was able to even like change like how they smelled or whatever.
Yeah.
In his mind.
So
this was like when I read this, I'm like, this is the biggest twist ever.
I know.
Know? It still is kind of.
Yeah. Like literally, like I was like, he was asking like, where's Storm? And he's probably like slicing up Storm at that moment.
Yeah, she's right there.
So yeah, pretty brutal. And so that's what causes him to become a pacifist, which makes sense.
Nathan, you got a lot of X-Men here to name.
Oh, fuck. All the dead ones? How am I supposed to name them if they're all bloody?
By other parts.
Okay. Left to right, we have Iceman. I think that's Havoc with his head cut off.
Oh, okay.
With like one little slice. Then we have Gambit there. We have... Oh, fuck. What's her name?
Is that Kitty Pryde?
No.
She's on top of Colossus?
Where's Colossus?
The dude who's like...
The closest?
We see, yeah.
Is that Colossus? Oh, I guess that would be Colossus, huh?
Yeah, just not.
That's not Kitty Pryde. I think that's... No. She's the one with like the pink sword made of like energy. She was
Magic?
No. She was in
Dazzler.
Apocalypse. No, not Dazzler. I'm surprised you know Dazzler.
Of course I do.
Psylocke.
Oh, okay.
I think that's who that is.
I'll give it a pass. Who's behind Psylocke?
I don't know who that is.
With like the...
I think there's an X-Men named Goldballs, and I'm not shitting. I think that might be him.
Oh, there's Nightcrawler. Did you see him? He's right next to Storm.
Oh, yeah. Nightcrawler's dead. Storm's dead.
We got... Who's the dude with the star on his chest?
I don't know that one.
And then we got Cyclops.
Cyclops.
Who's in this corner here?
Jubilee. There's Beast, who's there. And then... Oh, I always forget her name.
The green?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Enchantress.
Is she an X-Men?
Yeah.
No, that's DC too.
I know, but there's also like a Enchantress in the X-Men.
Okay, whatever you say.
Hold on, I'm gonna look that up.
Clearly, we don't know that much about comics.
Yeah.
With these like books that
I
are...
was right.
I'm not convinced.
Okay, that's fair. So, yeah, lots of characters here.
Anyway, with all these like books that have like so many characters in them, like event books and stuff, they always throw people in there that they know we don't know. You know what I mean?
Just like fill some more, I think.
Yeah, I think it's just to be pretentious, but...
Or maybe Steve's like...
where's Professor X? You know? Just throw him in there.
Maybe
we know
Steve
him.
McNiven's like, I just really want to draw...
Enchantress.
I really want to draw gold balls. So
who do you think this other guy is? Is that Warpath?
That's what it is, yeah. It is Warpath. I was forgetting his name.
That's a great name.
Yeah, it's one of the
cool.
cooler names.
I don't even know what he does.
He's got these like knives that are really sick, and I think he just throws them. I don't know.
Was he ever in the movies?
Yeah, he was in Days of Future Past. because he was like,
did he get killed in that one scene where they're all getting killed?
Yeah, the same one where like Bishop dies when they're like defending that cave or whatever.
Oh man, Bishop was so cool.
Yeah, he just got a big gun, right?
Yeah, big gun. That's all I need.
How's he a mutant? I don't know.
As a kid, I just need a cool man with like a little thing on his eye, and he's got a big gun.
Perfect.
Did you watch Days of Future Past?
I was trying to remember that in my head.
There's
I know I have because
that's the one where he like goes back in time.
James McAvoy's in it, right?
Yeah.
I've seen it. I'm just like not
and
remembering
Patrick Stewart's
it.
in it. There's that really cool X-Men that does like all the teleporting stuff.
Nightcrawler.
No, Blink, I think.
Oh,
she makes like the teleport. It's like Portal, like the game.
She makes portals.
Yeah, she makes like the circular portals, and people like jump through them and kill some of the what are they called, Sentinels.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that a little bit.
I was like, that's a cool ass X-Men, and she's never come up when I've read the comics like ever.
Yeah, because like, why have 2 teleporters? I guess.
Yeah, Nightcrawler's I guess enough. I do like some of the Nightcrawler stuff. We should read that. We should read more X-Men.
We have really been lacking on X-Men. Like we've done
like nothing.
We've done
right?
Uncanny X-Force.
Yeah,
which was a long time ago.
I think that's like it.
We did Deadpool.
Did we?
We did Deadpool versus Thanos.
We did do that.
And I guess that counts.
Barely.
We have been really slacking. Like Grant Morrison's done X-Men.
We'll just do an X-Men month.
There's like that might be fair.
Yeah.
Did you guys not grow up watching that stuff as much or reading that stuff as much? Because that's like the only superhero stuff I really remember watching when I was younger.
I'm a big fan of X-Men.
Really?
Yeah, we watched them all. He's more of a comic fan. I've only read like a handful, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is like one of the bigger ones that I've read.
Mm-hmm.
But like I've only been reading comics for like maybe 5 years, or 7 years, and he was reading them in like when we were in school and stuff like that. So he definitely has a bit more background than I do.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely became a fan through the movies, and I would read like just like a couple X-Men things that like I would look up and be like, people are like, this is pretty good, and so I'd read that. But X-Men really had its heyday in like the 90s, which is why it got so popular, and it was like one of the first superhero movies to like get made.
Yeah, like this is one of the covers.
Yeah,
like
that's
of a 90s book.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is this the Jim Lee one?
That's Jim Lee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage bought this cover for how much?
That's not that cover.
Oh, it's not?
No.
But how much did he pay?
That X-Men series, the first issue of it is like the most sold comic book of all time. It sold like multiple, I think it sold at 1 billion copies. I'm not
1 billion copies?
But like
that's 1,000 million.
Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Maybe a million.
Maybe a few million.
That's more believable.
I think it's like 20 million. I don't know.
That's still a lot, though.
That's still like,
for
but that was
books,
when like comics were at like newsstands, and stuff like that. And so I don't. It'll like literally never be beaten, probably, unless like everybody starts reading comics, like Japanese people read manga, kind of deal, right? So anyway, what are you asking me? How much did Nick Cage buy it for? I don't think he bought.
Didn't he buy a cover from Jim Lee? It was like the #1 or something. 8 million copies, Nathan.
8 million. Okay.
I'm surprised how close you were.
8 million, a billion, you know?
Because like
just a touch off.
Shit nowadays, like something that sells like really, really well
sells
is like 100,000,
150,000.
Oh, really? That's it?
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is like unheard of.
But like physically, not including digital sales, because we don't really have a good gauge.
They didn't have digital back then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
didn't have computers.
But it's weird
true.
that it like still not outsells, but like you
Like
think that it would like grow, like the physical would kind of stay the same, even though they're not in like newsstands or like Walmart anymore.
Yeah,
or they are in Walmart now, kind of. But
because there was like a really long like X-Men run, like in the 80s, right? Yeah. And that was so like definitive, and then that was the first time they like rebooted it or whatever and started with like a #1. Was that also Chris Claremont?
Yeah.
Okay, so pretty big deal, I guess.
Yeah, so
I guess I'd buy a copy if I was alive back then.
I have one.
You have one?
Yeah, they're not expensive.
Oh yeah, I guess because there's like 8 million.
There's 8 million. Yeah, people are trying to get rid of them, so I have one.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, so I'm like, this is a little bit of like comics history. I think it might be in like a frame, but I haven't hung anything up in my house because I live in a prison cell, basically.
Yeah,
nice.
A detention center.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Like I'm in trouble when I'm there.
Where are we? That's so mean. So yeah, Logan killed all the X-Men, And so the rest of the issue is just them like continuing on their road trip. They're seeing the sights. There's a dude named Dwight that has an Ant-Man helmet, and he like controls the bridge like he's a troll.
Yeah.
And he's like, give me $1.83 or whatever.
The grumpy old troll who lives under the bridge.
And he tells him a riddle.
Yeah, dude.
And so so they let him pass, and then there's like a Venom dinosaur that's after him, and that's how the issue ends. Which
So
I could
sick.
tell that they were like, we don't really have like a big cliffhanger for this issue.
Yeah.
So let's throw in a dinosaur that has venom on it.
Is it like Venom and anti-Venom?
I think it's an anti-venom dinosaur technically.
Okay.
Because we saw Venom earlier.
in the hills.
He's just
somewhere.
like being a goop somewhere in this book. And so I don't know. I don't know what this is. I would read an origin of this dinosaur though.
Yeah.
So
issue 6 or
issue 6,
chapter
yeah.
6.
So they're being chased by Dino Venom, and then all of a sudden Black Bolt comes in and he whispers stop, which is so loud that it blows away the symbiote. And then they're teleported to a lab that's run by Emma Frost.
This is one of the coolest panels like of all time.
It really is. This is like one of the best ways to encapsulate Black Bolt, I think, because his deal is that his voice is so powerful that he can't talk at all.
He like doesn't talk like a majority of the time.
Like he killed his parents as like a kid by talking, like by accident, you know?
I
my
like
God.
screaming because he was a baby, you know?
Yeah. And so
Wow, that's
so
quite
he's like
that's
the
quite a
king.
story.
He's the king of like the Inhumans. And so he's
Which
like
is-
super powerful.
Which is just kind of like another X-Men.
It's kind of like shittier X-Men. I like them too though.
It's like
I'm just a
it's like
sucker.
Great Value X-Men.
Kind of.
Yeah. They're like an alien race, and then they get their powers from like a material.
Like Stanley didn't want to just create a bunch of more like origin stories, so he's just like, oh, make another race, you know? And they just all have powers for some reason.
Yeah. I think that's where like the X-Men spawned initially. I mean, initially they weren't, but like if they needed like a hero real quick, it'd be like, oh, he's an X-Men, that's why he's got these powers. You don't have to create like a unique like radioactive spider origin story or like anything like that.
I didn't realize.
That's
So
interesting.
I was reading this like panel to panel, and I didn't realize how zoomed in it was when I read the stop. You know, because of how small it is. Like if this dude shouts, he's like breaking the planet, like he's cracking Earth. You know.
So I always thought that he's a pretty cool hero because he's just so silent, but he still like leads a nation. So yeah, that's what's going on here. And then the symbiotes are still like weak to like sound. Like remember Spider-Man 3? He's like banging the things together.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's why that worked. So I'm glad that Black Bolt's still alive. He's bald as fuck, but he's still alive.
I guess regardless, even if they weren't sensitive to sound, I think it'd still probably blow the symbiote off of the dinosaur.
Yeah. Even if it wasn't. And so Emma like has this lab that she runs, and she like fixes their buggy, and she's like, I know what's really inside this box that you're trying to deliver. And Hawkeye's like, you better don't leak, please. Don't narc.
No spoilers.
Yeah. And then they just like leave from there, and they're just like on the road trip again.
Dude, we see Doom, and he's just watching them leave.
What is that?
And then fucking doesn't come up again.
That's so.
I was like, ooh, foreshadowing, but no foreshadowing at all.
Nothing happens. Yeah, I'm like, why is Doom here? You know,
Yeah, I guess Doom just rules Chicago or something.
He does have like a portion of that map.
Yeah,
I think.
it's called like Doom's Head or something.
Yeah, so I don't know what he's up to. I would like to know what he's been up to because he still has like Latveria.
It felt like a majority of like the shit after this was just kind of circling back to a lot of the stuff that was in this book.
Yeah.
You know, this is just like a condensed version, and then I don't know, who was it? Jeff Lemire on it afterwards?
It was Brian Michael Bendis and then Jeff Lemire.
Right.
Both of them had
So
Sorrentino on it.
Bendis was doing the baby stuff, and then after that
was Lemire,
and then
when Old Man Logan came back into the Marvel universe.
Oh, the real one?
Yeah, because they did a weird thing.
Oh, yeah, because there was a bunch of flashbacks in between the universes or whatever.
Yeah, they did a weird thing. Like, this is a separate universe, but then it sold so well that they were like, we need to do more. And so I think they did a series that was still set in like this apocalyptic wasteland. And then that was selling well. And they're like, okay, people like this version of Wolverine. He happens to be dead in like
Wolverine is dead.
our Wolverine. And so like, let's just bring in this random Wolverine into normal Marvel, and it just won't be confusing.
And then there's
That's what they thought. And then it's just like, why is Wolverine old now?
Wasn't there? Then there's like X-Men teams that was just like all the normal people and then old Wolverine.
Yeah, and he's
stuff.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
I know it's
It was kind of cool. Like when you all these different like.
but it got old fast.
It sure did.
I don't even know how they resolved it, to be honest.
Didn't Declan Shalvey do like Dead Man Logan or something like that?
That sounds cool.
Yeah, I think that's how they killed him or something. I can't remember. When I saw the cover for that, I'm like, that looks so tacky. Just like the title, I'm like, that's so
Dead Man Logan.
Yeah, like come on,
it's kind of cool.
We'll read it one day.
Yeah, but so I think they just wanted to capitalize on how cool this was, but I think it's cool because it's so limited, and like I don't need to know the story of how like Hank Pym died. But it's cool to see like a big skeleton, I think it would have been cooler if this was the only big skeleton, but we already saw Loki's skeleton.
Yeah, and we were confused about that because we've never seen Loki.
But like
big,
this makes more. If you want a big skeleton, just only have this. Also, it's been 50 years. Why is his body decomposing so fast?
Because it's cold.
Because he's already a skeleton.
Well, I guess that'd preserve your body a little bit.
Yeah, I just assumed that like Malloyds eat him or something, but
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but.
He's got a big hole in his helmet, so it's something big shot him in the face.
If you like decompose, are your bones like staying together? Like, are your ligaments still there?
No.
Okay.
So his knee shouldn't be up like that.
Or like his phalanges.
Those should have just kind of felt, because ligaments is what keeps all that shit together.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Hate this book. It's not realistic.
Yeah, because they're making it seem like he's like.
Took me way out.
How dare they?
Yeah, this is unreasonable.
I prefer the man with a healing factor.
Yeah, okay. Unless he's like
that's real to me.
in a museum kind of thing where they put the dinosaur bones back together.
Yeah, that's cool.
If there's something like that, then that's fine. But
yeah,
no, it wouldn't make sense.
So anyway, they make it to New
this
Babylon.
Book doesn't follow science.
So they make it to New Babylon, which is like the New York City for villains, pretty much. And then we find out that in the case is a ton of super soldier serum that Hawkeye was delivering. And his buyer, Tobias, planned on using it to make a new Avengers team. But then, he gets double-crossed. And then Hawkeye and Logan both get shot. But Hawkeye definitely gets like shot in the forehead. And he's like dead now.
Yeah, and Logan's just like riddled with bullets.
Which is such a sad thing, because like you're kind of rooting for Hawkeye because he's like
disabled.
Yes.
Old.
Yes. But he wants like a new event. He's like still an Avenger, at heart.
Yeah, he was like,
can't put it away.
I know.
Yeah,
he's
he's
still
like,
living in the past a little bit.
Because he thought like he was working for S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever, and then they're going to start like a new Avengers.
He's like, yeah, I'm so excited. I want to be part of this team.
And he's like, put me on the team. And they're like, all right,
and then they execute him.
It's like the Tom Brady of the Avengers. Just won't stop.
He's like, put me back in.
I'm not ready to retire.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the Raiders.
And then he divorces his wife, and he's like, I still want to be an Avenger.
Yeah. It was funny, like back when he went to go see Tanya, he was like, this is my third ex-wife. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And then he also had a kid with his third ex-wife. I'm like, how many kids do you just have running around?
He's probably got a few. But yeah, this is a good cliffhanger. Like just seeing him get shot, and
it happened so fast.
You look at his blind ass eyes.
Yeah.
And yeah, it does happen super fast. Why does this guy look like Hitler?
I was gonna say he's Fat Hitler.
He's Fat Hitler. You're not a part of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Because it's like not quite a Hitler mustache. In most scenes, it looks like just a normal mustache. But then
he's got the black comb over hair though.
It's just Hitler times 2.
That's not a good look. I don't know why he combs his hair like that.
Yeah. So I don't know why he trusted this guy in the first place. So yeah, issue 7, we get some Red Skull sort of origin. I guess he's the one that coordinated everybody. And we see him taking down Captain America in front of the White House. And now the White House is where he keeps his like trophy room. So we see like a bunch of the like Iron Man suits, the Thor helmet, Spider-Man mask, stuff like that. And S.H.I.E.L.D. brings in the bodies of Logan and Hawkeye. And then Logan jumps out of the body bag and fights Red Skull. And it turns into like this big scuffle. He grabs the Captain America shield, defends himself, and then eventually decapitates the Red Skull with Captain America's shield, which is so sick.
He's decapitated.
decapitated.
But that was fun. I love all this just random shit popping up.
Yeah,
and
I like
being used.
I like how disrespectful it is that he's just wearing the Captain America like
so
cowl.
weird.
It's probably so dirty. It's been 50 years.
Yeah, dude, that's disgusting.
Yeah, and I just love seeing like other characters just hold Captain America's shield.
Oh yeah,
Like I fuck with that heavy, you know. Like when Spider-Man did it in the MCU, I'm like, there we go. This is comics right here. And then yeah, he just like decapitates him with it, which is super like unexpected. I feel like because he's been pretty much a pacifist up to this point. So
there was a scene where Red Skull was talking about something. And he says something in German.
I was about to ask, what's with all the Nazi propaganda with this guy?
Red Skull was like around, and he was like working for like Hitler or something.
Oh, okay.
In like
he's like
whenever World War II was, and so he's trying to find something for Hitler or whatever, and that's when like Captain America first came around, as far as like American propaganda and things like that.
Yeah, he was literally like American propaganda during World War II. Like the first issue of Captain America has Captain America punching Hitler in the face.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's really sick, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Red Skull was like one of the first villains of Marvel. And he's like, yeah, working with Hitler, and he's the one that like created Hydra, if that means anything to you. But like Hydra's a big thing in the movies. So he's like the leader of all of that pretty much. Oh. Yeah. What did you say in German?
Arschkeicher? What do you think that means?
Ass head?
Close. You got any guesses?
It's gotta be ass something. Ass kicking?
So he said little Arschkeicher. It means ass kisser. German's like kind of close to like English.
Yeah.
If you think about it long enough.
It sounds like a drunk guy.
I was going to say, it sounds like a dude who's blacked out trying to talk to you.
That also might be my pronunciation, but
yeah, you just sound drunk.
Arschkeicher. Anyway.
So yeah, Logan gets out of there pretty quick. He grabs like a suitcase full of money, and then he takes parts of like the Iron Man suit, and he flies away back to California or wherever he lives. And the suit can't make it the full distance, so he like walks the rest of the way home, only to find out the Hulk gang killed his family for fun 2 weeks before the rent was actually due. And so Logan finally pops his claws, which is a big moment. I think it's so funny that he's in the Iron Man suit, first off. It's just like, I guess this will work. You know, it's a good way to just like reset, like go back home like really quickly rather than just like drive.
Yeah.
I think that was
pretty
pretty
smart.
smart.
It's charged up that much.
Yeah, true.
After like 50 years or
it's
whatever.
Pretty high tech technology, so it's probably fine. And then
we get a double page sneak.
Yeah, you don't see very often like lettering getting like a spread.
Yeah, no.
But this is totally like worth it. I think to have like a double page spread where it's just like the snicked is so good. And how crushing was it when you were reading this and you just like see Logan's dead family and like his shadow is there just kind of like over everybody? It's like, oh fuck,
that was tough.
Your heart fucking drops, you know.
I know, and it's like, oh no. Dude,
because like he was set for life basically.
He was like, everything's gonna be good now. I'm gonna pay the Hulk gang for a while, and it's just like everything's for nothing.
Part of this I like is because he doesn't have like that healing factor that is strong anymore. So every time he pops his claws, like
super
his
bloody.
hands bleed, you know, because they're not like healing as much, and it just adds and makes him a little bit more badass.
Super cool. Yeah. Also, fuck this guy who's like, you can honor your family by just doing nothing.
Yeah, that's so soft.
Yeah,
I know.
Fuck you, dude.
He's like, you don't do anything dumb now, Logan. Like, I am still alive, and I would like to stay alive. I'm like, fuck you, man. Honor them by doing jack shit. That'd be cool.
He's like, you can honor him by giving him a good Christian burial.
I know. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, dude, get out of here with all that.
Yeah, no.
And so then the last issue, Logan goes on a mission to take down the Hulk gang family one by one. And it starts at the watering hole. He takes out Rufus and Woody. I wrote down all their names, by the way, and I'm just going to tell you because I think they're really funny.
Can't wait.
They're so like
so
it's hilarious.
They're just hillbillies, like Rufus.
And they all look just like gross. You know, they look dirty.
But they're all like incest babies, right? Like we find out that he basically fucked She-Hulk, which is his cousin. But yeah, anyway.
Icky. But that'd be a strong ass baby.
I do like how he kills. It would be. You'd think.
That's true.
Can you imagine?
I'm pretty sure it's what all they are, right? Like they're all family, right? So
they don't really like Hulk out. They're just kind of Hulks like the entire time.
They're just abominations to look at.
And they're not all like huge. They just so a lot of them look just kind of normal, but just a green.
Still kind of ripped though.
Yeah. But this guy's got like a beer gut?
Yeah. I do love that. I like how
he's got my physique right here.
I like how when he kills Rufus, his body just shows up like in the water, like it's a stew or something.
Yeah.
And then Logan like pops out of the water, and I was like, oh, this is so good. Yeah. Then he goes to a bar and he kills Luke, Elrod, and Eustace.
I like the name Elrod.
I like Eustace a lot.
Eustace reminds me of Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one.
Eustace is such a insane name.
I like the Goth Hulk.
The Goth Hulk was cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because he's like, I don't like looking at him, but that's like what these people are supposed to be.
Yeah. Like the way that he draws people being insane, like the eyes, I think really gets me, because it's like one people's like really big and one's like super small, and it gives that like effect of just them being absolutely insane. So
huge jackasses.
Then he goes to Hugh Hefner's mansion and he kills Bo, or he straps him to a bomb and then straps him to the Fantastic car and then drops him in the middle of Banner's
trailer park,
which kills most of the rest of the Hulks. And then he fights the rest, and then he fights old Banner, who's like pretty strong despite not being hulked out.
Yeah, I was expecting him to be hulked out at first.
Yeah,
but he just comes out. He's just like a skinny old man. Yeah, but he's still like as strong as like Hulk would be.
Yeah, so that was an interesting choice. But yeah, it's here where he mentioned that he fucked She-Hulk, and that's why everyone's a hillbilly, I guess. But they use like radiation poisoning as like a explanation, but it's still gross.
Oh, to make him like
that's why
dumb.
He's fucked in the head.
Yeah,
because he was exposed to radiation. That's why he became the Hulk. I think that's what they were trying to explain, like what happened to him.
That kind of makes sense.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, I was really curious about that. Like when I was reading this,
what happened from
what
scientist to hillbilly? That Also, this cow did not deserve this.
Oh, he gets ripped in half.
Not cool.
Yeah. So then Banner turns into the Hulk finally, and then he eats Logan entirely. And then Logan heals inside of his stomach and claws his way out of his back. I love this page where he's eating Logan. I think it's just like, oh my God, he's really getting it now.
This is like one of the grossest Hulk designs I've like ever seen, because
he's so bald, but he's not like completely bald. It's
just like this huge ogre troll thing.
Yeah, and like the hair just gets me, because it's like you're not bald, but
he's
like
got hair on his back too. It's gross.
He's the level of bald that's just gross to me.
Yeah.
And then and his blood seems so like thick and viscous.
Yeah, it's like swampy looking.
Yeah,
it looks
so
like
bad.
snot.
And so after that, he has a proper funeral for his family, and then he starts a new life with Banner's latest child, baby Bruce, and to go stop like the rest of the villains in like the wasteland. So then he rides off on his horse.
Why is it in all the Mark Millar books like the Hulk is just like gross? Like, do you remember the Ultimates?
Yeah, in the Ultimates, he's like super horny.
Yeah, super weird.
I guess he just doesn't think that the Hulk contributes anything other than just like being a problem.
True.
But ending's really good. I think it was cool to have him like scoop up baby Bruce and be like, you're with me now. Like, you're going to be a symbol for like what's to come. And that's what the series after this kind of explores a little bit. But I don't think we really see much of baby Bruce after this.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't very good. And then where I started,
it was all right.
On the next one, he's not there. So
yeah, it was Brian Michael Bendis that wrote the one after this with Sorrentino, which was pretty good. And then Jeff Lemire was after this also with Sorrentino.
Yeah.
So, pretty solid.
Then it was like Mike Deodato, I think.
Yeah, and Ed Brisson. And I think that's where they ended it. I don't remember how it ended.
Yeah, that was sick. I'm a sucker for Deodato stuff. But overall, Jack, what'd you think?
Yeah.
I liked it, and I liked the end specifically, like the art, because it reminded me of like a Clint Eastwood movie.
That's like a pretty big influence actually on this.
Yeah.
I think there's like a little passage at the end where he's like, I just like Mad Max and I like Clint Eastwood stuff. And
so
totally.
Totally.
Very apparent in here. Like just a silent Logan, and like you can't see his face because like the shadow of his cowboy hat or whatever.
Yeah,
it's portrayed really well.
I like that. I don't mean to keep talking about the movie, but like I liked how in the movie, I remember in the trailer, I remember the night the trailer came out for the movie, they had Johnny Cash's "Hurt" song on the trailer, and I was like, I'm seeing this movie.
Such a banger trailer.
Yeah, and then at the end of the movie, in the credits, it was "The Man Comes Around" by Johnny Cash, and so like I like that
vibe.
I like that vibe. I've always liked that kind of stuff. So like the ending, I was like, oh, this is really cool. It like resonated with me a little bit because all that kind of stuff.
I remember that trailer. It was like, I hurt myself.
Yeah, best song of all time in my opinion, for sure.
And then it's just Logan like shaving or something. I forget what it was, but
yeah. But I like this book.
Yeah. What was your favorite part?
I liked learning about what happened, like why he became a pacifist.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting because, like, again, only comparing it to the movie, but like just seeing like how that happened, like how, because I like was reading it, and I was like, oh my god, he's fighting all these dudes or whatever, and then like it turns out it's all his
Mr. Friends
buddies. Yeah, that's like, wow, that was pretty crazy, but
yeah, and it like feels worth it because they don't tell you what happens until like pretty much like halfway through the book, maybe even like a little more.
Yeah,
and it like feels like it makes sense, like why he would just never pop his claws, like rather die.
Yeah.
And so yeah, there's like a lot of weight added to that, and I think they delivered.
I like how they did something similar, like in the movie where there's some big event that happens prior. I don't remember if he was a pacifist in the movie, but like
no, he was still slicing guys up.
And then the very first scene, he was like killing dudes.
Okay,
yeah, they were like taking his tires.
Yeah. But and what was cool about the movie is that they never show you what happens because you don't need to see it.
It's like let the mind kind of wander about it.
Yeah, they called it like the Westchester incident or something like that. I can't remember, but I think an original cut had something like this, like a couple minutes of, I don't know, all the X-Men dying or whatever the fuck. And so it might have been a similar scene, but they just ended up cutting it because you don't need it, you know.
Yeah, I'm so glad that movie was rated R too.
Oh,
that was a good call for sure.
Such a good call.
Another thing I liked about the book was like the road trippy vibe of it. So it was just kind of fun to go along the ride and see like, again, like the history of like each spot they stopped at and like who died there, and it was kind of interesting to see that.
Yeah,
feels like a road trip for sure.
For sure, it's like the worst road trip ever, but still like it was kind of cool.
Where Hank Pym died, big skeleton.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I liked it though. It was very cool. I always like darker things too, like darker movies or darker books, whatever it might be. So I enjoyed this a lot for sure.
Yeah, super good. So let's get into our next segment called Back Matter Matters.
Back Matter Matters.
Back Matter is the stuff at the end of a trade. That's just kind of like extra stuff about how they like put the book together, or they're gonna have like variant covers. So like each single issue has like the main cover, and a variant is like a different artist that will also make a cover that like a company will hire. And so you just get like some different artistic perspectives on like what's going on in the book.
Kind of cool.
So in this, we have like a couple variants that are like actually kind of funky, I feel like.
Yeah.
At least these first two.
Yeah.
I feel like one of them is kind of like a spoiler for what actually goes on in the book. But we get one by Maury Hollowell, and then we get one by Herb Trimp. Those are pretty funky. There's an unused cover, so that's pretty cool that we get to see that. And wow, this was on Wizard.
Yeah.
Dang, I didn't even realize. So there's a Wizard cover.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Ed McGuinness does one. Paolo Rivera crushes it like always with his like.
That's a cool picture, right? Yeah,
with his like painted style.
Looks like a founding father or something.
He does. Yeah. That'd be in a museum somewhere.
Dude, that's sweet.
We get some concept art. So this is Steve McNiven trying to like flesh out the design for like an old guy, like an old man Wolverine, which is pretty cool. I love this one in like the bottom left with his like hat on and like the whole trench coat and stuff. Feels very Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, it looks good.
I imagine it'd be so hard to draw just an old person and like keep consistent with like where the wrinkles are and stuff.
I'm sure it wasn't that exact, but
yeah, like it definitely wasn't that like. I mean, he doesn't like need to be that exact, but to just like take the extra time, because faces I'm sure are already hard, so to have like the wrinkles sort of like around it
and look like natural,
and have it look natural, and then pencils as well. So He crushes with the pencils. I would read a book with just like his pencils.
Oh yeah.
So super good here.
I kind of like that better, honestly.
Yeah, it's like the black and white movie.
Yeah.
I would definitely read this reprinted if it was just like Old Man Logan black and white. So that's the back matter.
I like how on the back cover they have the parental advisory thing on the back.
Yeah.
Like it's like I've read it already, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's like the back cover for the book.
Yeah.
trade.
But like if you pick it up, right, give it to your kid reads it, you're like, oh my God. And then on the back it says, hey, maybe not this one.
Like,
Yeah.
what the hell? Yeah.
That should be on the front.
Your kid's gonna be like, Mom, what's a spider bitch? You know?
Yeah.
So pretty good.
Good.
What would you rate this book, Daniel?
Nathan, it's a gotta have it all day.
Jack, we rate books not by 5 stars or whatever, because that's lame, and we already talked about the books. We like to equate it with
Mostly Cold Stone sizes.
That I can, yeah.
with
that makes
sizes
sense.
that aren't small, medium, or large or whatever. It's like you could do canes, you know, or like a Starbucks venti.
Okay.
You know, just
Yeah.
some kind of food analogy, I think.
Yeah.
I would say this is, for me, it's definitely a hot venti for sure.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Especially because it's winter time. Yeah, I'd say hot venti.
Just cozy up and, you know, enjoy your Old Man Logan.
Yeah, exactly. I really did like it though.
Yeah.
Especially being a first time reader of anything like it, I did enjoy it.
It might have been kind of like a not like heavy one, but pretty dense one to put onto like a new reader, because not everything is this like bizarre and have like this many like random cameos and stuff like that and have all this stuff going on. Just like this was a very special book for a special time, and so not everything plays out like this, you know.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what I would rate this, because I feel like the book, even though it's like 200 pages, it definitely like doesn't feel like it.
Oh, you fly through it.
Yeah, you can fly through it pretty quickly, and so I'd probably say it's like, I wouldn't even say like Cold Stone, but like maybe like rolled ice cream. You know?
What?
Oh yeah.
Have you ever had rolled ice cream?
Oh no, I've seen it. But
It's
no.
like typically like a little bit like lighter, but it's still pretty tasty, I would say, and you could do like a lot with it. And so I would say it's like some rolled ice cream, but with like a lot of rolls, because I can still get through it pretty quick, you know,
okay.
and it's still just as tasty as ice cream
Okay.
with some toppings.
Is that a better rating than like something from Cold Stone?
I would say it's about the same.
Oh, okay.
Just because like the book's so big but it doesn't feel like it. I think that's where I draw that analogy from.
Sure.
When
okay.
I got it and I saw the number of pages, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I was like really intimidated. And then I started like kind of swiping through and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you get through it
ain't
pretty
that
quick.
bad.
It's
Yeah,
mostly pictures.
Yeah.
I kept checking in with you. I'm like, don't like just wait till the night before, because you might not.
Yeah.
But then again, as I started reading it, I was flying through it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some things are much denser than others, to where it takes a minute to get past the page.
Yeah.
And those suck. But this writer specifically, is just like the man when it comes to getting pacing down. Really.
Yeah,
well.
really like effective storytelling without it feeling like it takes too long to read. He's pretty good with that.
Yeah.
Like he's written like Kick-Ass, which is like
I
a
remember
movie.
Kick-Ass, yeah.
You remember that movie Wanted with James McAvoy and like
Yes. Yeah. I remember
Angelina Jolie?
That was a comic.
That was a comic that he wrote.
Oh, really? The movie's based off a comic, or that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
okay.
did you watch Kingsman? Did you ever see those movies?
No.
You know, are you aware of them?
No.
Oh, okay.
Kingsman, Secret Service,
Oh, I think so. Actually,
British,
yeah,
British
yeah.
spies.
I
kind of
think so.
suits.
Yeah, that's
Dudes in
that's one.
suits. Yeah.
Also his comic.
Mm-hmm.
But
Has he had any other ones?
I'm sure he has it. I'm forgetting. But
Jupiter Ascending. Was that what it was? Jupiter Ascending?
Jupiter's Legacy.
Jupiter's Legacy.
Jupiter's Ascending was like a
the follow up.
no. It
The
was a Mila Kunis movie with Channing Tatum.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And that was really, really bad.
Like that's not a comic. That's
No,
just a
not-
bad movie.
Because I
There
saw that
are
come out.
those,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, I wonder if that has something to do with that comic, you know? But it did not.
No.
Dang.
So
Anyway, so we got the poll list.
Colin, shove it in your box.
The poll list, what did you shove in your box?
We say that because if you go to a comic shop and you pick up stuff weekly, you can have a box.
You can subscribe
that's
to
right.
stuff.
You
told
can
me about
subscribe to
that.
stuff. Yeah.
Tell me about that. Yeah.
Depending on the shop, you can get discounts on those books that you have in your box. And so we named this Shove It in Your Box because it has no other innuendos whatsoever. So
Yeah, but it's called like a pull list because they pull it for you and stuff.
Oh, cool.
Because sometimes shit sells out and that really fucking sucks.
Yeah.
You just
So
like
they kind of set it aside for if you know you already want it.
yeah,
deal.
or they'll like
Yeah.
order an extra copy like for you.
Oh,
you know?
okay.
specifically,
Nice.
yeah.
That's cool.
Because it's really annoying to like follow a series, especially when that is going for like a long time, and then it's like, oh, I don't have number 14.
Yeah,
Right.
You're like, do I stop?
And it's like, do I just drop this series entirely? What do I do?
How long would you have to wait normally for like?
So it depends on if they like
Print it
reprint
again?
it, like reprint that issue, which might not happen. I normally would try like a different shop to see if they still have them.
But then there's a chance that they don't either. So you can order it online if you
Right,
want,
right.
and it ships to you.
gotta pay
Or you
for
could read
shipping.
it, or you could read it digitally,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is fine. But then it's like, oh,
You
look
always
at my
have-
collection of Daredevil that's missing like 3 random issues.
I
Yeah.
feel like this kind of like comic books and like hobbies like this, like it's nice to have the physical
100%.
thing. Like that's just one of those types of things that it's nice to have that.
Yeah, it's like boobs. Like sure you can look at them on a screen, but it's just much better to have them in your hands.
Yeah.
you know?
Definitely. Yeah.
That was
Quote from Stanley.
yeah. Stan the Man Lee said that himself. So
That guy's been around. He knows.
yeah,
He knows,
what he's talking
He
about.
knows the deal.
But yeah, I think it is nice to have it physically up to like a certain number.
Yeah, I guess a reasonable amount. Right?
I have like probably like around 2,000.
2,000 comics.
I want
Wow.
to say so.
they're
physically,
small though. They're thin.
They're small, but I have like a lot of boxes of them, and so
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
like want to get rid of some.
Sure.
But I'll definitely keep. Probably, I want ideally like 4 long boxes, which is probably like 1,200.
Maybe.
So
It's like vinyl. You keep your favorites on vinyl. You
Yeah.
download the rest on Spotify.
yeah, like
Right.
Mike, who we had on for Powers. the
Oh,
Powers,
yeah.
he's got like a garage full of them, and they're like stacked like 8 high or something.
Yeah.
And like
I don't even know if the ones on the bottom are safe.
I like, yeah, they're definitely not like they're not worth anything, but it's kind of cool.
And he
like-
doesn't bag them or anything.
No, he's just raw dogging it.
Yeah, just a bunch of raw comics. Because
Yeah.
then
If
that,
it's not full, then they're just gonna like fold like on top of each other kind
Oh,
of
that's
deal.
kind of a bummer.
Yes, but you can have like boards with like a bag that'll like keep them straight,
That's
and
interesting.
I try and do that as much as possible, but I don't all the
You can only
time.
do so much.
And yeah, so I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool because I'm sure that he enjoys when we go over and we're like, oh my god, you have Kick Ass, like
yeah.
you should like get this graded and sell it or something.
He's like,
because-
ah.
yeah, I don't care. And it's just like in there folding over.
But like, if you don't want it, then if you're like, if you don't want it, can I have it? He's like,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
kind of lame. It's like, well, come
Well,
on.
like I wouldn't give my shit to anybody, you know,
if like
if I liked it.
if he doesn't look at him ever,
It had
if-
been years since
if I
he'd seen
hadn't,
that.
if I haven't seen it, I'm like, yeah, take it.
I
don't
could
know.
rob his house and he wouldn't know what he lost, you know?
be like, here,
One
I'll
last
give you
job.
$100 for you just to look away for a couple hours.
yeah.
Just let me go through your garage.
Yeah, he's got some weird stuff on there too.
Only take comics.
Yeah. Anyway, what'd you pick up at the shop this week, Daniel?
Nathan, we got Shirtless Bear Fighter, number 6.
It's on 6?
Yeah, it's on 6. Nathan, you got to catch up.
No, I
I haven't even started it. So we got Batman and Superman, World's Finest, number 11. We got What's the Furthest Place from Here, number 10. We got Batman Fortress, number 8, which is the end of that run.
I'm definitely behind on that one too.
Yeah. We got I Hate Fairyland, number 3,
Yep, I got that one.
and The Nightclub, number 2.
Did you pick that up?
I didn't actually go. Yeah, I got the first one. It's $1.99. How
That's
How can
right.
you say no?
I don't know. I like vampires.
It's cheaper than tax.
not a. What does that even mean?
Like, you think about your stack and how much
Oh, I see,
tax
I
is
see,
in
I
your
see.
whole stack. It's basically tax.
Yeah, it is nice to have a $2 book,
Yeah,
but yeah,
Are they typically expensive?
like $4, $5.
like $3.99.
If they hate you, they're like 6.
But if you buy like 7 or something, then it's like a $30 a week, and they come out weekly. And there's always shit that you're picking up each week.
Yeah,
That probably adds up a little bit.
Yeah,
yeah, like thousands a year.
Yeah.
Probably.
yeah, easily.
I think if I thought about it too much, I'd be like,
I get a little depressed.
Well, you got to have a hobby of some kind.
I think about it,
it
like
could be drugs
It
that we're doing.
way
you
better
know?
than drugs.
Wait,
That's
yeah.
that's what I tell myself every time. So,
Yeah, or strippers, or more drugs, or gambling.
Yeah.
gambling, yeah,
And that's
bad.
just money that goes to nowhere.
Yeah.
At least you get to have.
At least I'm
something.
paying
Yeah,
for
yeah.
somebody's career.
I keep
right.
thinking in my head, I'm like, at least there's there might be a resale value,
Yeah, true.
Mm.
I like
even
to
if
think
I'm
of that
just
too.
breaking even.
It's not it's not going to be even. We're in the hole significantly.
Yeah,
If I sold
I'm
everything
definitely in the
I
red.
had, I'd probably have like $500.
Damn.
I'd still be down thousands.
Yeah. No, actually, I like to think that I have some good stuff. I have like a Civil War
Oh yeah.
first printing, so I like to think there's something there. You know?
Sure.
Anyway,
What did you get? Or
I
what
picked
did
up
you get?
most of that, and then Punisher on top of that.
Was that 10?
9.
9? Cool.
Yeah. So,
Did you read anything, Nathan?
I read Mosley, which is the
Oh, yeah?
Rob Guillory #1, just to see how I like it. And I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. Because just like looking at the cover, I was quite literally like judging it on its cover. And I was like,
Did you get the Rob Guillory cover?
I did.
Okay, so
Which I love his art style, but I was like, this doesn't tell me anything about the book. It's just a guy with a big hammer, you
Yeah.
know? Looks like he'd be like a Thor type thing. And I liked it a lot because it's like very clear that he has anxiety about this thing in like the world, and he just translated that to the page pretty well. But basically the idea is that technology has just blown up in a way where like AIs are pretty much like parenting like your kids, and like from a very young like infant age they like get used to like just interacting with like technology that's in people that like are just AIs.
Nice.
And his kid grows up and he ends up being part of like a cause, or she ends up being part of a cause that is pretty ingrained with technology, but it's basically like a metaverse type deal, and he doesn't like follow it. He's just like a janitor. And then one day he gets mugged and he dies. He has like a heart attack, but then he basically gets like the power of Shazam type deal. And I don't really know where it's going from there, but the idea doesn't sound like incredible, even me just saying it.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed the art style of like the artist that he chose, and I could tell that there's like a lot of his personal experiences in there. So I liked it a lot more than I thought I would.
Oh, for sure.
So
Yeah,
I
he's a
thought that
good
was
writer.
pretty cool. And then I read Once Upon a Time at the End of the World
Number 2 or
2.
Okay.
Did number 3 come out?
I don't know.
I don't think so. Still pretty good.
Nice.
The main character really reminds me of just like Aang from Avatar.
Oh yeah.
And so basically that book it's like an apocalyptic book where it's pretty clear that like what caused the apocalypse was just like pollution and like waste. And so there's like a bunch of like plastics and stuff everywhere, but that creates like monsters because of the amount of pollution that's in everywhere. And it's just these like 2 kids like trying to survive sort of in this apocalyptic world, but they're kind of like making some fun out of it seems. Or one of the kids are pretty fun and then the other one's kind of more realistic, and so there's like a clashing there. It flows really well still, and I think it's pretty fun, so I'm gonna keep with it. That's the only 2 things I read.
Jack, what comics did you get?
What'd you pick up this week?
I bought Old Man Logan this week.
Let's go.
Nice. Did you read anything else this week?
Nothing for fun. No.
You watch anything?
No, just been busy.
Yeah, you've been moving and stuff.
I've been
so that makes
moving,
sense.
yeah, trying to find a house. So.
You watched The Road. That's what you watched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long was your drive?
2.5 days.
Whoa, that's crazy.
It was good though. It was nice to kind of. That's not true. Does audiobook
it
count?
wasn't
Yeah, podcast, audiobook,
Okay,
whatever.
yeah.
So I do listen to a lot of different podcasts, like, and I like audiobooks. Like, I know it's not like the same as like reading an actual book, but I get the same
That's
thing
better.
from it.
Yeah.
I listened to David Goggins' second book because the first one that came out was Can't Hurt Me. The second one, I don't remember the title of it for some reason right now.
Yeah.
And I listened to a bunch of different like comedy podcasts and like
Like what?
Which ones do you listen to?
I listened to Bad Friends with Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino.
I love
That
one.
one is so
I
funny.
love that one, dude.
They have some banger episodes
Yeah,
for
they
sure.
It's
do.
so racist.
It is.
But it's so funny.
It's pretty nuts. It's just a good laugh a lot though. I love that sometimes. It's nice to unplug with that. And then Monday Morning Podcast from Bill Burr.
Is that the one where he's just talking to himself?
He just
kind of?
rants, yeah. And it's
That's
just
insane
like
to me.
I enjoy
Can
it.
you imagine just ranting to nobody?
Well,
I'd be like, well, I had some cereal this morning, and
He has his wife on a lot sometimes, and like she's pretty cool. It's cool listening to them talk all the time, so I like those episodes. And then as far as like books and podcasts, that's pretty much it. And,
For sure. Did you read the first Goggins book?
I listened to it, and then I was like, it like came at a perfect point in my life that book came out, because I was like kind of going through like some big changes, and I needed that like at the perfect time. So that's why with all that's going on in my life right now, the second one came out at a perfect time too. So it kind of like aligned perfectly.
Interesting.
So I felt really compelled to read and listen to the second one, but I did listen to it first, and then I bought the book and read it.
Okay.
Nice.
So
Why do I know that name? Goggins?
He's like this insane dude who's been on like Rogan a couple times.
he's an ultra marathon dude, and also he was a Navy SEAL and stuff. So he's got like lived a pretty big life. So.
Yeah. Okay.
He does
That
these
rings
like
a bell.
240-mile races and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where he runs. And
Dude, have you heard of a super marathon where it's like on a mountain?
That's
Ultra
what he does.
marathon.
Ultra marathon.
he
Yeah.
did one of those. Jack
You did
one of
an
those.
ultra marathon?
Yeah.
I attempted. I did not finish mine. I did like 27 miles. I was supposed to do 32.
That's a marathon.
But on a fucking mountain.
yeah, 26 is like the normal marathon. So
Yeah, I wanted to redo it because I wish I didn't finish, and I quit. I was like, I can't. Like my knees were killing me, and I was like, I
Sure.
should have trained more. I didn't train enough. And
absolutely.
So I want to go back like next February and do it again, the same one if I can. But yeah, he's an ultra marathon guy, and
it's cool.
there's like all sorts of different distances. There's like a 32 to like 200 something. So it's
Wow.
like it's a really growing thing, and it's pretty cool. A bunch of my friends do it like all the time, so it's kind of cool to see that, you know.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
This dude's like pretty motivational to like listen to. Like if you like listen to him, you feel like you like lift a car. I don't know.
Yeah,
You like
I
run
do-
through a wall. It's crazy.
That does help me a lot. I
yeah.
feel like sometimes I'll just, if I'm not feeling like working out, there's like a couple just people that I follow that are workout like YouTubers or whatever, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah, definitely that guy's Instagram's like pretty good too. He's all about like he loves shit that sucks because like things that suck are
hard. And
Yeah,
it's
are
like
hard.
you
They're good for you
overachieve
in
it.
a way.
You have to
yeah,
you
they're
have to
definitely good
embrace
for
the
you.
suck or whatever
Okay.
is what he says. And so like
'Cause I feel like there's a lot of shitty fitness like accounts
Yeah.
that are
Absolutely.
just like, look how strong I am kind of deal. But it sounds like he's framing it the right way, where it's like,
Yeah.
He's actually lived a life that's worth wanting to be like. Like I don't like the Instagram stuff because
Yeah.
it's like I know you've never done anything truly difficult like with a lot of those people.
Mhm.
So like that's why I like people like him, because it's like you've lived it.
Exactly.
And I've always disliked seeing like those Instagrams where it's like this alpha bullshit. It's like I know that
he's like, here's the bicep workout
I
that'll
know
get your
that
biceps
you're
real
not
big like mine.
Yeah,
it's like, I know you don't do those.
I know you're not
Download
what
my
you
app.
think you are, you know.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
so roided up, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
So I like people like that because like he's lived
This dude
very,
will
for
do
sure.
planks for like hours. Like I think does he have the record for planks?
he had the record for pull-ups at one point, but it's been broken.
Yeah, it was like
Dang.
how much was it?
I don't remember, but
It was like 700
It
or
was
like
a couple,
7,000
No,
or
it was a
something.
couple thousand.
Yeah, it was something
In like
unreal.
24 hours or something like that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he'll read like comments and stuff, but while planking like the entire time.
Yeah.
And it would be this long. He's just not struggling at all. I'm like, this guy's a god.
Dude, he's something else for
I
sure.
don't know. I planked for 2 minutes one time. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
That's
my
pretty
back
good.
would break. like, like my vertebrae would snap. Like I would have to. I would
You'd be
leave.
fine.
I would leave in an ambulance.
You'd be fine.
1 minute, I feel suicidal.
You're
Like,
just like shaking it.
You'd be fine.
absolutely not. No, a
kill
minute's
it.
fucking pushing it.
That's funny.
You'd do good.
Anyway, did you watch anything? Or no? I've read.
What did you read,
Yeah,
Daniel?
what'd
I
you
want to know what you
read?
read.
I finished Fairyland, the original run.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, pretty good stuff.
That's a good book. That one is it's a girl that is like a little girl, and she gets transported to like a fairy tale land, but she like hates being there.
And she's stuck there for like 30 years, but it stays in this like kid body or whatever.
Yeah, stays in a kid body. Everything's like fairies for like the whole time, and so she gets like really violent, like starts killing everything, trying to kill her way out, pretty much. Yeah, but it's like a really creative book, and I just the juxtaposition of like fairyland and then it getting like super bloody is pretty fun.
Yeah.
So, how did it end?
She
Did
gets
it
out of
end
Fairyland.
well? I guess.
So the thing with that book is like, there's like good moments in it, you know, that you're like, this is such a good fucking book. But like, I think he just kind of just like ended it, you know, it kind of came to like a pretty natural ending,
That's fair.
you know, but wasn't like the ending was like the best part or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the back matter, they had the I Hate Image like issue.
Oh, cool.
And I read that already. It was like a free comic book day thing, but I reread it and it's just really good.
She's just going through like different image books.
Yeah.
That's cool.
She like kills like
Spawn.
the Will and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
And like she kills like writers like Chip Zdarsky and stuff like. I can't believe you haven't read it. It's
I don't think I have. That sounds fun.
Yeah,
though.
it's a free comic book day issue.
Yeah. So now you're gonna catch up on the 3 issues of the new one.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I was like reading it, is just to like catch up. I also wanted to finish it, but
yeah, that's cool.
And then I finished that Clementine book.
Nice.
Good stuff.
What'd you think?
I think it's like
pretty solid.
It is pretty solid. It's a little weird to call it like a young adult book, but because there's like violence in it and stuff. But I did like it and was like really attached to like some of the characters, and it had a really good flow to it too.
Yeah. Like, well, I mean, young adult stuff has like violence in it.
I guess when I think about it, I don't think
it's like Hunger Games, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
you know, did you ever see those Walking Dead video games that they had where it was like you got to make choices in the game and it changed the story?
I think so. It does ring a bell. Yeah.
They were pretty popular a couple years ago, but there was like a character in it named Clementine. It was just like a little girl.
Oh, yeah.
That you basically you're protecting. Mm-hmm. There was a comic that came out about Clementine.
Oh, really?
That came out, and it was super good.
She's like Walking Dead universe and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, she's cool. Like a bit older in the book, and then I guess there's two more coming out.
Yeah.
The next one comes out in like June,
which I'm really excited about. But Clementine's like the most vulnerable character.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
you just want to protect her with like your life.
Because she's just like this little girl that's grown up in this awful situation.
Yeah.
In the book, she like doesn't have one of her legs, and so she's like,
God.
I know, and so it's just like you're rooting so hard for her. And there's so many times where they get super close to like getting the other leg or something.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, she's having a rough time.
Dude, I loved that show when it was good.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Like
all the Walking Dead
seasons 1 through 6, like
they crushed.
Those were good times, man.
Some of them were like more popular than Sunday Night Football.
I remember it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Dude, did you hear like the statistics on like how much it dropped, like the ratings and the viewership, like after the Negan episode?
Like the big Negan episode?
The big Negan episode?
No.
It was like almost half of their viewership got cut down.
Really?
Like, they were having like
but that
10
was like
million like an episode or whatever to down to like 6 million.
So you're saying the average dropped. You're not saying the drop off from that episode to the next one?
No, that episode to the next one.
Well, that was like a big deal.
Yeah, I know. People
happened.
Stopped watching it because of that episode.
I didn't think that was a bad move on their part either.
No, it's just what happens in the book.
Because like they couldn't have lasted forever.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. But like I guess just like the brutality of it or whatever, and like his characters. everyone loves Glenn, you know?
Yeah.
I think the drop off though is just because it's like that was like the big event like episode. Like
it could be that too.
Yeah,
I think that's what it was.
That's as big as it's gonna get, probably.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Dude, but the season after that was like my favorite season. You know what I mean? Like it's good. Like why wouldn't you want to see more of what this Negan dude's about? You know?
Yeah.
That's not how showbiz works.
I think the best seasons were season 3 and season 5.
You just like how Rick's beard was in those.
It looked good
episodes.
in season 5.
It was good beard.
It was a good beard.
But
that's besides the point.
That's just an extra thing.
That dude's a bad motherfucker.
I haven't separated like the seasons that much, but I just remember the Negan season was like the best in my opinion. But
Carl.
Because that's where I had all the King Ezekiel stuff, which is cool.
Oh yeah,
and I liked all the Savior stuff. Anyway, what'd you watch, Nathan?
I watched Puss in Boots.
Oh man, how was it?
The second installment of the Puss in Boots franchise. I found out this one's called. It's like the second movie.
Yeah,
it's called Puss in Boots, like the Second Coming or something. Or no, that's Jesus, isn't it? Yeah. Well, my reaction to this movie is probably equivalent to the reaction when Jesus came back.
Oh yeah,
this movie's so
big
good.
Deal.
Yeah,
big deal.
That's what I would equate it to.
Dude, it was rated higher on Rotten Tomatoes than Avatar.
100%.
It was a better movie.
I thought Avatar was okay.
I heard the villain was like really fucking good.
Dude, so good.
Really?
Yeah.
How did you watch? Did you go to the theater?
We went to the theater, bro. Well, it's funny because Carter went to go see it with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And she like came back to like our place and she was like crying. She was still crying.
Oh my god.
Whoa, dude.
And I was like, damn, I gotta go see this
movie.
That's
like a 10-minute drive.
I know. It was like a 10-minute drive. She's still crying.
That's a lot.
I went and saw the movie just to set expectations. You're not gonna cry. There's like a very, the thing that she cried at was like a comedic moment, but it was like a sad story that was being blown off in a comedic way, right?
Okay.
And she was crying at that part. That happens like 30 minutes into the movie, I guess. Anyway,
Wow.
That's besides the point. Animation is fucking fire.
Yeah, because they change it up, right?
They change it up. It like feels kind of more acclimated to like Spider-Verse.
Sure.
Like there's definitely some inspiration there, I feel like, because there's points where like the characters move at like a different frame rate than everybody else.
Yeah.
They do it in like a pretty good way. The villain is pretty amazing. John Mulaney's in it.
What?
What does he do?
He's another villain.
Is he the
like
villain?
He's a
He's not
paperboy.
the villain, but he's big. What?
So what is he? A paperboy in the universe?
No, he's like a fairy tale person I'd never heard of. Somebody with a thumb. I don't know.
Okay.
That guy is so odd.
Dude, like Goldilocks and the Three Bears are in it, and their dynamic is so good.
Huh. So recommend?
I absolutely recommend it. Yeah, the villain, which is like a wolf, is really, really good. The premise of the movie is that he's on his last life. Like he's been pretty reckless his entire life, and so now for the first time he's like scared of death. And so there's a villain that like scares him of like his last life for like so much that he like stops being like a hero type deal, and he like goes to like live a normal life, but then that villain like starts to come back and stuff, and so he's got to like get over some of that fear. Also there's like a love story part of it that I think is really strong.
Okay.
Really good. So
Does Puss get some puss?
he does. He does.
Attaboy.
It's nice.
So really good. Like, and I think the villain works really well because the design, like his eyes get like really freaky actually throughout it, and just like I've been seeing like a bunch of TikToks about it.
Yeah.
He's like in the background of like a bunch of like different scenes because the idea is that he's like the embodiment of death, and he's like always kind of like creeping up on him kind of deal. And so he kind of just shows up like randomly in the background of a bunch of scenes, but
Interesting.
really fun and pretty funny too. So
Check it out.
way better than it should be.
We watched Bullet Train.
Oh, good movie.
Yeah, pretty good movie. And how I did it was Sarah did not want to watch this at like all costs, right?
It just seems like a lot of movies.
But what I did is we will like watch trailers, to see if we want to watch something. I was choosing trailers of things I knew she didn't want to watch. And then it got to a point where she's like, I'd rather watch Bullet Train at this point.
Nice.
And I'm like, let's go. We got her. But dude, I remember you talking about like the cameos that were in it.
So insane, right?
I was like, Channing Tatum's in this?
Yeah. And you're like, is that Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
Like,
I was like, oh my God. Like,
yeah.
I was like, this budget or the favors that they cashed in were insane.
I think my theory on the Ryan Reynolds one is that Brad Pitt showed up in Deadpool 2 for like 2 seconds.
Oh, just
And
a trade,
so
yeah.
I think Brad Pitt was like, can you show up in my movie for like 2 seconds?
Yeah. And then fucking like Sandra Bullock was a girl on the phone the whole time.
Yeah,
I'm like, this didn't need to happen. Like,
It did it. It was, I liked a lot of the action in that movie.
yeah, great action.
Super good action. I feel bad for Tangerine.
Yeah, I definitely like the twins the most,
Mhm.
but
It was
a good movie.
I like the non-linear storytelling, and it all like pretty much makes sense at like the end.
Yeah,
And it's
just like a
this
lot
all-
of flashbacks and stuff.
This is all connected.
He got like a little crazy at the end. I'm like, all right, this thing's gonna crash now. And
Yeah, that I mean, it's definitely like goofy
yeah.
at some points, but I think it's
But
still pretty
Sarah
fun.
ended up actually liking it because there was like a lot of funny stuff in it.
Yeah, it's a good movie. So
But yeah. And then did you finish Kaleidoscope? By
no,
any chance? Well, we did, and it's awesome. Big fan.
you watched all 8 episodes?
Yeah.
What'd you start with?
Green? No. So Jack, this is a show where each episode has like a different color. It's named, right? And you can watch the episodes in any order, but the last one you have to watch is white. And it's like a heist show. It's got Giancarlo Esposito. I don't know if you know him.
Gus from Breaking Bad.
I don't know if you watch Breaking Bad.
I've seen some of it before. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
And so what Sarah did is she looked up what the chronological order was, like from, oldest in time to newest in time. So we watched it that way, but did the white episode last because that's the actual heist itself,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that is definitely the way to go. I thought it was great watching it that way.
Okay. Because I think Netflix randomizes it for every.
Yeah, I didn't want to
account.
do that because I could definitely see like, wow, if I watched this episode, which was like the pink episode or the red episode, I'd be like, what the fuck is happening? You know?
Yeah.
Like it could work because the episodes are self-contained enough, but I just liked doing the chronological thing, you know?
Okay. So what did you start with?
Fuck, dude, I don't know.
What was Green? Because that's the only one I've watched.
Green's like the second one.
That was the second one they watched.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first one, you have to look it up. Maybe it's not Black. I can tell you later, but it's how he gets to jail and why he goes to jail.
Okay.
You know, and so yeah, good stuff. Highly recommend.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll keep watching it.
I watched
movies.
I watched the playoffs.
Did you watch anything with Laura?
I did not watch anything with Laura. No.
You guys don't have movie nights?
Oh no.
Okay. He's living with his friend's mom right now.
Yeah.
And her name's Laura.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
that's nice.
I just moved back and
she had an extra room.
And
nice.
so it's actually my roommate. It's his mom. So she's like, oh yeah, stay with me for however long. So we just got a house as of like tonight. So
Oh wow.
yeah,
Cool.
So very excited. But I watched a little bit of White Lotus this week.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty good so far.
Is it because you watched a bit of it when you were here?
Yeah, I watched the end here and I was like, I kind of want to know how this started. So I started going back.
Do you like it?
So far, it's good. Yeah, I like it. I haven't watched anything in a long time, like a show in a long time. Like it's
tough for me to watch.
Been a minute. So I think the last show like I watched in full was like Insecure.
Oh, okay.
I watched a documentary called Dangerous Son on Netflix or Hulu or something.
Ooh.
What's that about?
It's about children in the United States who are born aggressive, and like it kind of tied it into like this generation's mass shootings and how like that mental health aspect is tied in, but there's also no attention being put on the fact that some people are born with these problems.
Yeah.
And they kind of just say it's the parents' fault, but they don't know what the parent is actually doing to work on that, and how there's also no funding a lot for like these mental health programs, and like it's a super stressed system. So it was really interesting seeing it. It was really sad, but like it was also mind opening for me because like I will be dealing with things like that at some point.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting how like that narrative has changed with like troubled kids being like the blame goes to the parents when that might not necessarily be the case.
They could be trying everything they have available to them, and and
there's just like variables outside of their control sometimes that can really like affect a kid. So that's interesting. It was called what? Dangerous
Son. It's just a documentary. It just follows like a couple specific families, and it's definitely good.
Nice.
It was good for sure.
You watch a lot of documentaries?
That's usually what I watch if I watch anything, is documentaries. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've watched anything though, so this was kind of like, oh wow, like I have time to watch something. It's kind of cool. Yeah. But that's it.
But anyway, Nathan, what are we gonna read next week? What are we gonna read next week?
I don't know.
So,
do we have anything on the dock?
Yeah, we have 2 options. So this episode will come on the 27th, and there's only 2 weeks before Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is also the same week as Valentine's Day, where we do an annual romance comic.
Is that what we do?
We sure do.
I don't remember doing that last week.
Yeah, we did Giant Days.
Oh, that's right.
Which is kind of like more of a coming of age thing, but we were shooting for a romance.
Yeah.
So we could do one of those two. We just did a Marvel book, so we could probably just do the romance book now.
I don't know any romance books.
Good, because I got one. It's called Sunstone. It's by Stepan Sejic.
Oh, he's great. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to just do that?
Yeah.
You just going completely blind?
Yeah, I don't even know what the cover looks like or anything, but I recognize that name.
It comes up a lot.
When Ant-Man comes out, we should read the newest Ant-Man.
So you guys read one a week for this podcast. You read other stuff also in conjunction with your one a week?
Barely.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it kind of a struggle to get the one done sometimes?
It's not a struggle to get the trade done, but it's kind of hard to stay on top of the stuff that we pick up weekly.
Okay.
That's the first trade, I think.
Okay, that looks familiar.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's do that.
I think it's a little spicy, but
it seems spicy.
We'll see.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I'm trying to get on a habit of...
Jesus.
We're going to be reading porn this week?
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
Hey, romance.
Romance. Yeah.
Spicy romance.
I guess that's a type of romance, is
Sex. Anyway.
Wait, you don't see any sex in the movies or TV shows you watch?
Right.
Come on.
Not the ones I'm watching, all right?
Just like
I like poems, okay?
Yeah,
I watch good Christian media.
I do. Big Christian guy over here.
Anyway, that's the show. Thank you, Jack, for coming on. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, fellas. Appreciate it.
We'll have you on soon again. I know you love podcasting and you love our podcast.
Yeah. Biggest fan.
This is the only one I'll be doing.
What do you mean?
This is the first and last I'll be doing.
You didn't have a good time?
I had a great time, but I'm not good at this kind of stuff. But it was very fun.
You did great. What are you talking about?
Thank
you.
You can find all our shit on our Linktree. You can follow, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. You can email us at tradewaiterspod@gmail.com. Send us suggestions. Send us what romance book you think we should do.
That's right.
And what Ant-Man book you think we should do. And that's it. All right. Goodbye.
Peace.
Say bye, Jack.
Goodbye.